Hi, and welcome to Mrs. Mahar's 2015-2016 Back to School Night Flipped Classroom Keynote. By watching this video in the comfort of your own home, you will be offered the opportunity to avoid a lengthy, fast-paced presentation on the evening of Back to School Night, and instead, you will have the opportunity to ask questions and we can get to know each other. Who is Mrs. Mahar? Well, this is what I look like in fourth grade and in fifth grade. Forgive the hairdos, it was the 80s. My teaching experience is fairly lengthy. I've been teaching for 15 years, with this year being my 15th year. I've taught grades 3, 4, and 5. This is my 10th year at Visler School. A few years back, I received my GATE certificate and have been teaching GATE ever since. I also taught a 4th and 5th grade combo in Long Beach my very first year. This is my beautiful family, AJ, Ryan, Mackenzie, Kennedy, and me. We're going to spend a little bit of time focusing on the Scholars Academy. Did you know your children will graduate in 2023 and 2024? What is the Scholars Academy? Well, this year it is a 4-5 GATE combo class. It is the first of its kind at Visler, and the students were hand-selected due in part to the fact that last year's teachers believed they were highly independent workers. We will be focusing on scholarly habits as designed by Sandra Kaplan, who is a guru in the GATE community. We will also be focusing on pirate attitudes, more to come on that in a few slides. We will also be spending a good amount of time focusing on college and career readiness, leadership, engaging in challenging activities and projects, working in a highly collaborative environment, and have a lot of opportunities to engage in project-based learning. The Scholars Academy is not 5th graders teaching 4th graders. It is also not 5th graders doing 4th grade work. It is not a repeat of 4th grade. It is not 2 separate classes, nor is it all the same curriculum, and it is not ordinary. I'd like to spend a moment on this because I know there are probably some concerns, especially from 5th grade parents, since your children are the older children. I have always used an approach in my classroom where students are peer mentors to one another, whether they were all in 4th grade, all in 5th grade, or all in 3rd grade. This year will be no different. Each 4th grade student has a weekly learning partner that they can turn to ask questions and get help. Similarly, each 5th grade student has a 5th grade learning partner to do the same. However, since it is a combo class and I do not want to run it like 2 separate classrooms, and I want the students to get to know each other to create a community environment, each 4th and 5th grader also have a 4-5 pal. Throughout the week, there will be several occasions where they are to get together with their 4-5 pal, simply because I want them each to experience working with students in the other grade level and not just their own grade level peers. The pirate attitude comes from Paul Solars, who wrote a wonderful book that I read this summer called Learn Like a Pirate. In his book, he talks about a pirate attitude and that we are kind of all in a classroom, much like pirates on a ship. We must engage in peer collaboration, have an improvement-focused learning environment, be responsible, participate in active learning, prepare for our future with 21st century skills, and become empowered, confident risk takers who can make bold decisions and celebrate our mistakes. This pirate philosophy is also found on our classroom website if you'd like to return to the website at any time to view this in more detail. I believe it's important for parents to understand my personal teaching philosophy. Years ago, I came up with the Big 10. Take a moment to browse these 10 ideologies that I hold close to my heart, you will notice that this will be the focus throughout the year in the Scholars Academy. You will also receive a copy of this in the folder when you come to visit on back to school night. Sandra Kaplan, the guru of the GATE community that I mentioned before, from University of Southern California, came up with Habits of Scholars. These apply to all students, but in particular to gifted learners. We will be focusing on these habits of a scholar throughout the year, and students will be asked to reflect upon them throughout the year and determine which they are showing at high levels and which they need to work on a little bit. I believe in celebrating uniqueness. The Scholars Academy will do just that. By its very nature, the class itself is very unique. Mrs. Julian Lee, our school principal, and Allison DeMark, the GATE program coordinator at the district office, are working together to make this year truly exceptional for your children. We are hoping that this is a program that can take hold throughout Fissler School in years to come and possibly even throughout the district. One of the things that are going to make us unique this year is that we will be engaging in some activities, events, and experiences that are unique to the Scholars Academy class. That means your 4th and 5th graders. Some of these may include special field trips to college campuses and career and work sites. I've already got a field trip to a robotics and engineering manufacturing company where a friend of mine works is already in the works. We will also be engaging in special projects like passion projects, possibly some community service-oriented projects, and even competitions. These might include scholastic writing competitions, debate competitions, or anything else that we can find that the students are interested in entering. We will be learning formal and informal debates in class. I also hope to invite speakers and allow children the opportunity to hold interviews with career professionals, professors, and motivational speakers. We will also be engaging in inquiry-based challenges where the students determine their pathway based on their own interests and questions. Let's spend a moment talking about the best ways for you to be informed of what is occurring in our class and to reach me when you need. The single best way to reach me any time of day or night, Monday through Sunday, is going to be via email. Please take note of my email address. Please do not send inbox message to me via haiku. Those are not checked frequently, and I receive no notifications when a message is waiting in my inbox. Another great way for parents to stay informed is to bookmark our classroom website and visit it frequently. There is a monthly calendar that updates anytime I post something new. There is a page for the Scholar of the Week, a class journal that will be written by students, a news flash that will come out weekly on Wednesdays or Thursdays, links to forms and documents that you may need throughout the year, and other class information. Another way for me to contact you, which is particularly useful when we are off campus on field trips, is through the app Remind 101. I have the app on my phone and I can push out a message to the entire class, to just one grade level, or to individual or small groups of students. To receive notifications, you must text this number, 81010. That is basically the phone number that you will enter in the to field. And then in the subject of your message, you will type the @ 4-5 gate C3. Another way for you to stay informed as to what is going on in class, particularly the curriculum that we're currently focused on, and be able to download project instructions and see due dates, is on Haiku. It is strongly suggested class as a parent, and in the folder on back to school night, you will have a parent access letter with instructions on how to join. For an informal way to see what we're doing, please consider following our Instagram account at Mrs. Mahar Surfers. It is a private account and you must request to follow. This is to safeguard the privacy and security of our students past, present, and future. I only allow Fissler families to follow that account. For updates and daily bulletins for school-related events and attendance, consider using your PowerSchool account. You and your child have separate accounts. Please keep the letter that you will receive at back to school night in a secure location. Illuminate is the system that 4th and 5th grade will be using for grades this year. Grades will not be in PowerSchool. This also updates immediately anytime students take an online assessment, and you can instantaneously see their results. Like PowerSchool, you will receive a username and password letter at back to school night, which you will need to keep in a safe place. Behavior is extremely important in class in order for us to maximize our instructional time, work together as a community, and have limited problems that we must encounter and solve. For individual class behavior, I use Class Dojo. Students receive positive and negative points throughout the day each week. You can access your student's account by signing up with the parent code that was sent home in the first week's Wednesday folder. If you have lost that letter, please let me know and I'm happy to print you a new one. Please check your child's reports on Friday and have a discussion with them over the weekend about their behavior. The winner each week with the highest cumulative total of positive points for the week will receive a free homework pass. For whole class behavior, students can earn team tiles for quiet transitions, working together, being on task, and being a community. When they get 4 in a row on our numbers chart, they will earn 5 minutes of team time. I owe them 10 minutes from last week. School-wide behavior is tracked using our PBIS, Positive Behavior Intervention System, which is related to the FISH philosophy. The 4 qualities of the FISH philosophy that we look for in students are for them to play, be there, make their day, and choose your attitude. Students are currently receiving FISH tickets, which are salmon colored, and can drop them into fish bowls for drawings at the end of the week. There is a school-wide expectation matrix in your child's folder, which you will receive on back to school night. Please note that this system will be changing throughout the year. Actually, it will be changing shortly, where the rewards are going to be slightly different than last year, and we are going to have some technology to scan students' individualized barcodes, and then that will track their prize points. More information will come on that as soon as that system is fully ready to be implemented. Curriculum. The 4th and 5th grade Common Core standards for both reading and writing are very, very similar. There are very slight differences in the standards, which will actually prove to be very beneficial for this year's combo class, because for reading and writing, we will be doing many of the activities as one large class, and I will be differentiating my instruction not based on grade level, but based on reading level, ZPD, interests, and abilities. Reading is largely integrated with science and social studies and in other areas across the curriculum. There is an increase in nonfiction text in Common Core starting in 4th grade. So you will see a lot more nonfiction text coming home and a lot more discussions about nonfiction text this year. Students will be engaging in core literature and novel studies. Some of the core literature novels are listed here for 4th and 5th grade. Students will also be engaging in book clubs. Again, not based on grade level, but based on the books that they themselves choose. They will be forming groups and having intense analytic discussions about what they are reading. Accelerated Reader is optional in my class. I do not require a signed reading log every night. Students are not required to meet a certain number of minimum minutes per night or per week. The reading is entirely optional. Instead of reading books and taking quizzes to earn points in the book, students have been challenged with the 40 book challenge this year. I have found in years past that this far more motivates students as it is a rigorous challenge and they get involved in friendly competition. Students still wishing to take quizzes and earn points on books, or parents wishing for me to set goals for their students for Accelerated Reader may do so. We will discuss this more at our conferences at the end of September. However, in the meantime, if you would like a goal set for your child, we can definitely meet to discuss that, or you can just send me an email and I will work with your student to make sure that happens. Writing. Grammar and language is done daily, all together as a class. 4th and 5th graders will be engaging in daily language review that will teach them a review of the 4th grade standards and also advance them into the 5th grade standards and beyond. We also engage in workshop style writing, where writing is a process and students are able to write whatever pieces they would like in whatever genres and formats and on whatever topics. Students also engage in weekly quick writes where they are given a topic and they write for 10 minutes, and free writes where they choose their own topic and write for 10 minutes. They will also have a Google Journal where they are required to submit 2 to 3 entries per month from their in-class writing. I also select an author of the week from either the Google Journal or the quick writes and free writes. The writing will be showcased on our class website under the Author of the Week tab, and the writing is featured in a special place on our writing bulletin board in the classroom. Students will also have an opportunity to write on our journal page of the website. You can see an example entry from last week there now. Students will also have a chance to write for Scholastic Storyworks contests throughout the school year. Brain research shows that memorizing lists of spelling words does not help anybody to become better spellers, but that reading a lot and writing a lot do. To that end, I have created a self-paced spelling program for students. There are 20 word lists. Each word list has 10 assigned spelling words that fit with a particular pattern. Students spend time during word work on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings discovering what that pattern is, reviewing the rules for that pattern, looking for other words that fit that pattern, and coming up with 5 of their own words to add to the list, making a total of 15. Students do word sorts. They look for words that do not follow the pattern or are the rule breakers. They are then allowed the opportunity to explore the spelling patterns within their own writing and reading. The transfer of knowledge of spelling patterns into writing is far greater this way. I do need parent helpers to help with assessments on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. I will be creating volunteer spot opportunities, and you will receive an email once that has happened. That will occur from 8:10 to 8:30 a.m. 3 days a week. If you're interested, please be sure to sign up on Volunteer Spot. I've also created a Grow with Roots, Grow Your Vocabulary with Roots program. This will teach students 140 new roots this school year. Some they may already know, and some will be new to them. We have discovered through research that 90% of multisyllabic words, which they often encounter beginning in 4th grade, are of Latin origin. The other 10% are Greek. Therefore, learning these Greek and Latin roots is proven to strengthen their reading and vocabulary skills. It is a self-paced program, much like the spelling, and students must study and analyze the roots and then sign up to test when ready. Volunteers are also needed for this program, which also occur on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday mornings during word work time. For math, there is a focus on reasoning, explaining, and evaluating with Common Core. The GATE students will be digging deeper into concepts. We will keep a math journal, engage in project-based learning, and apply mathematics in real-world situations and settings. You will receive a copy of the Grade 4 or Grade 5 Overview of Standards in your Back to School Night folder. For social studies, several of our topics this year will overlap and several will not. In the beginning of the year, students will be engaging in some question-based, inquiry-focused research on geography, regions, and Native Americans. Then we will move on to missions in 4th grade and colonies in 5th grade, the Gold Rush in 4th grade and the Revolutionary War in 5th grade, becoming a state in 4th grade and the 50 states in 5th grade. For both grade levels, social studies is integrated with language arts. Students will engage in reading about current events and practice newspaper reading skills, participate in project-based learning, and research and technology projects. Science is going to create a unique challenge this year for me as a teacher. In working with Mrs. Lim, Mr. Celine, Mrs. Hancock for 4th grade, and Mrs. Ceballos, Mrs. Coda, and Mrs. Udis in 5th grade, we have decided that the best way to achieve results for the 5th graders is to separate 4th and 5th graders out so that 5th graders can get intensive science and 4th graders can get intensive science, since they are still going to be at this time required to take the California CST in 5th grade. We've been told that is not going away until at least 2017. In preparation for that, students will keep science journals where vocabulary is a focus, engage in hands-on experiments and project-based learning, participate in research and technology projects. About every 6 weeks, 5th graders will begin their science topic or their science unit with me staying in C3. The 4th graders are going to be divided up and will join Mrs. Lim and Mrs. Hancock. This will occur on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays for approximately 70 minutes. On the weeks when we are not doing science, we are focused on social studies. A few things that have been alluded to already, but I'd like to discuss further, is the GATE class and what makes it different. Any GATE class, that is a good GATE class, designs lessons and activities that show an increased rigor and possibly quicker pacing for students that can handle it. GATE does not necessarily mean smarter, it just means different ways of thinking, and I believe in challenging students who think differently than the average student. We will be using Sandra Kaplan's thinking tools, also known as the icons. There is more information on the icons on Haiku, and I will also add them to our classroom website in case you decide not to follow us on Haiku. As a parent, it is important that you understand what these icons mean and how you can help your students when they are working with the icons across the curriculum. We'll be digging deeper into curriculum, not always going faster, but spending maybe even longer on a topic and going deeper so that your GATE children are challenged and we can differentiate instruction and activities based on their interests and their abilities. Students in my class will also be engaging in passion projects approximately 2 to 3 times a year, depending on if time allows. These are self-chosen topic projects where students choose a format. They spend time researching their project and designing an oral presentation that includes visual aids that they will present to the class. Students are asked to come up with a plan to work together with their parents to pace and plan out their project so that they are not waiting until the last minute to complete it. The presentation grade is part of their oral speaking grade on the report card. I hope to do this every trimester, but we'll see how things go. Some parents have already asked about junior grade books. In years past, when I have surveyed students about the Junior Great Books breakfast program, they have admitted, thankfully for my sake, that their favorite thing about the Junior Great Books program is the food. To eliminate that and decrease the amount of before school days that students have to be present and decrease the amount of work for the parents bringing in the breakfast, and to truly use Junior Great Books the way it was designed, which is to focus on shared inquiry, higher level thinking and questioning, and literary response, we will be doing Junior Great Books between the bells. This will not occur before or after school. This is a Fissler GATE enrichment curriculum. I love creating art with the students and allowing them to express themselves with art. Please support All the Arts for All the Kids. A teacher will come from the All the Arts for All the Kids program 6 weeks for theater, 6 weeks for music, 6 for dance, and 6 for visual arts. They will also engage in art projects in class with Mrs. Mahar, and I often pair that with poetry and writing. Their art will be published on artsonia.com. Please consider supporting us there. It is a great fundraiser for us if you decide to purchase something with your child's art on it. A letter will come home as soon as I get everybody set up, and several of you have probably already received emails from Art Sonia. For those 5th grade parents who had students in my class last year as 4th graders, your accounts are still valid and your login information is the same. To enrich and support your high-functioning learners, we will engage in a variety of technology activities, and students will have access to a variety of websites, including Gizmos, MobyMax, 10 Marks, IXL, yes, it's back, LearnZillion, Discovery Education, and will have an e-register subscription. Homework in 5th grade. Students will have frequent digital assignments and short-term projects. Homework is to reinforce and extend in-class learning. In a flipped classroom, such as what you're seeing now, homework is to introduce topics at home so that in-class time can be focused on answering students' questions and differentiating instruction. All homework is due the next day unless otherwise noted on the website. Homework assignments are updated daily on the classroom website. Students are responsible for completing their weekly homework planner, which is a colored sheet with a grid. You'll see a sample on the next page. Please only sign the homework planner after you have reviewed your child's homework. If you're not sure what the homework is, if it's completely blank, or you don't understand what your child has written, please consider visiting the classroom webpage to view the homework listed there. These are due each Monday for the previous week, and students will lose a dojo point if it is not complete and if a signature for every single night of the week from a parent is not present. The homework structure for points is as follows. Most nightly assignments are worth 2 points. If students turn it in on time, they will receive the 2 points. If it is turned in 1 day late, they will receive only 1 point. After that, if they turn it in or do not turn it in, they will have a 0 for the homework. I am very strict on this policy, so please make sure to discuss with your child the importance of handing in their homework. Homework grades account for approximately 10% of the total grade for each subject. Students also can lose class dojo points for failure to turn in their assignments, and they may need to stay in to complete their work during recess. For life's emergencies, when children are not able to complete their homework, please let me know. Starting in 4th grade, it is imperative that students realize that studying becomes a part of their nightly homework. Students must learn to study, and to that end, I will teach them various study skills throughout the year. However, as parents who have been through school, possibly even postgraduate stuff in school, please share your wisdom for how to study. It's just something that is so useful for them for the rest of their life, and coming from you and then hearing again from me will just reinforce the idea that they do need to study. If your child is going to be absent, please call into the office and email me as a courtesy. If you request your homework, it will be available in the office by 3 p.m. If your child is out for more than 2 days, please request work so your child does not get behind. Some of the field trips that we have planned for this year are as follows. PTSA has graciously agreed to pay for all field trips for each grade level in Fissler School. Some of these also include on-campus events like Colonial Day, the 5th grade play, the 4th grade play, the bike rodeo. Those are not paid for by PTSA, but rather managed by parent volunteers and parent donations. We thank you in advance for your time and your donations for those special events. Speaking of volunteers, I'd like to thank you in advance for volunteering in class this year. I know that many of you will. I use Volunteer Spot to coordinate all the volunteer opportunities and also to list classroom donations that we may need, such as printer ink. We will need volunteers for special class events like the Bike Rodeo and Colonial Day, and as I've mentioned, weekly during word work for spelling and roots testing. When you come in on back to school night, please be sure to sign up for your fall conference, to take your folder with the paperwork, and to volunteer for classroom donations by taking an index card that will be on one of the tables. Thank you. Can't wait to see you at back to school night on Wednesday, August 26th.